Welcome back. It is Tuesday, November 19th in the NBA. My best bets are on the way. In this video, we have 2 player props, 2 same-game parlays, and 1 spread pick for Tuesday's action. Another slate of in-season tournament games. Hopefully, they're all pretty good games. But without further ado, we need to dive into how we did yesterday. A 1-3 day. Man, I am annoyed. We have Abaji under in points. I don't even know how that became a sweat. He had 4 points going into the fourth. A role player, naturally, he becomes Steph Curry in the fourth. They swear he's getting and ones, 3-pointers. He ends with 11. We'll take it. Day 2 of the ladder challenge. You don't even need me to rant about Jade and Ivy. I don't know what the hell that was. Giannis and the Kings. Whatever. Giannis just didn't get the volume, missed some free throws, whatever. Kings led by 4 going into the fourth, only put up 15 points. That's not going to get the job done. But look, I know it's been a struggle bus to start the NBA season. Still technically a little bit profitable, but normally the beginning of the NBA season is normally where we're cooking. And we have just not had the luck go our way, had some bad reads, everything in between. So let's dive in. Let's bring some energy. Let's have some good vibes going. Let's sweep the board. Let's get some momentum and a streak going for you guys in these NBA picks. I know at the end of the season, we'll be up a lot of units. We need to start that train going right now. Without further ado, let's dive in. Hit that like button. Subscribe. First pick of the day. Miles Bridges over 16.5 points, minus 115 on DraftKings. Now, I would make this, and you could argue this is my best bet of the day. I'd make it a bigger play. There's one reason I'm not doing it. Number one, it's Miles Bridges. Maybe 2 reasons. Number 2, Miles Bridges, every time I bet on him, I swear he shoots like 3 for 16. And it always happens. So knock on wood, praying to Miles Bridges that he actually shows up today, makes some shots. And I think this is a perfect matchup for him against the Brooklyn Nets. Now, Bridges, obviously, he returned back from a little bit of a minor injury a few games ago. It was on Saturday, and he played in back-to-back games, Saturday and then Sunday. In both games, he scored 19 points. I think he shot 15 times in both games and played 27 minutes. So still got the minutes. The fact he played on a back-to-back makes me think, hey, they're not really too concerned about him. Maybe we see an uptick in minutes in this in-season tournament game. And honestly, I don't like this matchup at all for LaMelo Ball, who obviously is going to be the guy on the Hornets that attempts a ton of shots. The Nets rank second defensively versus pick and roll ball handlers. So they're really not letting opposing guards absolutely torch them, which is great for us because we don't want LaMelo Ball shooting 50 times, which he certainly is capable of shooting 30, 35 field goal attempts. We've seen him do it before. I'd rather him pass it out to Bridges, who could potentially take a spot up 3-pointer or drive to the hoop, where I think he'll have a lot of success, like he has had success in this same matchup. Bridges scores 46% of his points in the restricted area. Where's the restricted area? Right at the hoop. That's where the Nets rank 27th defensively. He scores another 22% of his points in transition, 17% via free throws. I want to put those two out there because the Nets rank 22nd in defense, transition defense, and 28th on the free throw line. So they could let him get to the free throw line. We could see him make some points there too. Look, Bridges has feasted in this matchup before, which is why I like his points a lot. We look at his last 6 games against the Nets. No, these aren't typos. He's absolutely destroyed them. 33, 32, 30, 24, 23, and 24 points. Absolutely cooking. Like I said, this is his 3rd game back from his injury. It's an in-season tournament game. They also could be down their 6th man and Trey Mann. He is currently questionable. I think this is a good spot where they need other guys to step up. I don't like Brandon Miller's matchup because that guy, I swear he doesn't touch the rock sometimes. I think they like Bridges. He's good at creating, so you could look at his assists here, but I'd rather just ask him to put the ball in the basket, and that's what I think he's best at doing. Could see him get to the free throw line a good amount. So I really like Miles Bridges. I like his over in points. He's my favorite over today in terms of points and where I see value at. I think Miles Bridges comes through for us. My second pick is going to be an under, and then we'll go to a spread pick. I know you guys won't like this under, and there's a good chance this guy doesn't play, so obviously keep a note on the injury report. He might not play, so you might have to skip forward into the videos to some more picks. But Nikola Jokic, I like his under 27.5 points, minus 115 on FanDuel. I know, taking a Nikola Jokic under feels like a donation. But I think it's a good spot to back an under here for the Joker. And if he doesn't play, whatever, we move on. Like I said, Jokic has missed the last 2 games. He is questionable. It wasn't due to injury. I believe his wife had a baby, so that he's been out for personal reasons. He could return tonight versus the Grizzlies, and I think he will. I just hate this matchup for him. And if he scores 28 on my dome, I'll live with it. Jokic has averaging, obviously, 29.7 points per game. In 10 games, he's only actually under in 4 of 10. So if you were to bet the under in every game this season, you'd look like an idiot versus Nikola Jokic. But let's look at the matchups where he's feasted. Number 1, he feasted against Brooklyn. I just talked about where Brooklyn does in the restricted area. They're terrible. Number 2, he's faced Toronto twice. So there's 2 other matchups where he soared over. Toronto, not a good team at defending centers. And he destroys Jakob Poeltl just like he destroys Ivica Zubac. Then in another game versus the Dallas Mavericks, he always seems to get up for those games against Luka Doncic. Again, he's had some great matchups and he's torched those teams. This is not a good matchup for him against the Memphis Grizzlies. In his last 6 games, first Jaren Jackson Jr., he has scored 29, 26, 22, 18, 15, and 13 points. So look, going under pretty easily in 5 of those 6 games. The Grizzlies, a top 10 paint defense in the NBA. And the main reason I'm fading Jokic here, because look at what Jokic does. Where does he score a majority of his points? In the post. He, in fact, averages 7.4 points per game in the post, his number 1 scoring method. The Grizzlies rank first defensively versus post-ups. So they are not going to let him post up and just destroy JJJ, Brandon Clark, whoever they got on him. They're going to throw some double teams at him, and I expect them to make Jokic's life difficult. The Grizzlies, where they struggle, is against spot-up shooters. So look for guys like Michael Porter Jr. to have pretty good games. I don't think it's Jokic destroying them. I don't know how they'll defend him, if they'll put Brandon Clark on him and let JJJ be a lurker or roamer in the back to try to contest those shots, to put JJJ on him. Either way, I don't really care. I think he struggles to score here. Zach Edey is also out tonight. I don't necessarily know if that actually hurts us here. Zach Edey, in my opinion, he just hacks. He just fouls people. So and I think they would leave Jokic on an island against Edey. I don't think they're necessarily going to do that against the other guys. So I like to fade Jokic here. If he absolutely tortures us, my guess is because he makes 3, 4, 5 3-pointers. If that's the case, I'll live with it. On the road, after a couple days off, I could see him struggling a little bit here. So I'll take his under 27.5 points. If he goes over, I'll never fade Jokic again. You have my word. I can't fade the GOAT, but I'll fade him here. I don't like the spot for him. Just give me his under 27.5 points. Third pick is going to be a spread pick. Throwing it to Logan. He got wrecked on Kings last night. Probably should have covered, but it is what it is. They showed a lot of heart to get back in that game. Took a lead. Couldn't score in the fourth quarter. Logan, the floor is yours for a spread pick, and I know he's actually in a game we've already talked about. Logan, what you got?
It's time to bounce back after one of the worst fourth quarters I've ever seen from the Kings. Like, what the heck was that? That's BetMGM. You're going to get teams just absolutely putting up stinkers when it matters most, but that's okay. We're bouncing back today, and I like another home favorite. This time, it's going to be the Brooklyn Nets, -2.5, -116 odds on FanDuel is your best value. Now, I really do like this pick a lot. It's not the most appetizing matchup on paper. If you're looking at the slate, your eyes might come to this game last. But I see an edge for Brooklyn. I mean, defensively, they're the lot better team. They put a lot of effort into these games. Can't always say the same for the road Hornets. The Nets have been a solid 4-2 against the spread at home. They're also 6-1-1 against the spread after a loss. Their most recent game was a loss. So they are a pretty good bounce-back team, at least against the spread-wise. Brooklyn also plays better team basketball than Charlotte, and the assist numbers really show it. Brooklyn, 9th in assist ratio versus Charlotte, who's just 27th. Nets also are a better shooting team, 9th in true shooting percentage, Hornets 27th. So you can kind of see how the spread isn't big in this one because there's no way the books can make the Nets a decisive 6 or 7 point favorite. That they just can't. They have to make this game sort of closer to a pick'em, and that's why I find definitely an advantage for the Nets in this one. The Hornets are also a bad LaMelo shooting night away from being, to me, completely ran off the court. I think given the fact that the Nets play team basketball, and the Hornets do rely a lot on the LaMelo show. I mean, for good reason. He's great. But if how LaMelo goes, they go as well, especially considering that Trey Mann for the Hornets is questionable. I mean, he would be a big loss if he doesn't play in this game for the Hornets. I do really like the Nets. All signs point to me Nets in this one. Let's bounce back in a big way. Love the Nets as my favorite pick of the day. But Austin, throwing it back to you.
And again, I like the Nets pick. As I said, I don't think this is a good spot for LaMelo. I think if the Nets don't cover, probably because Bridges is torching them, and if that's the case, well, technically we'd be profitable because spread picks are only a half unit. Now let's wrap up the video with 2 same-game parlays. If both of these SGPs don't hit, I'll probably ban them. I probably won't touch them again. And I'll also probably have a ladder challenge probably involved in the second game that I talk about in a second. But the first one will be a OKC Thunder Edition SGP. 4 legs, 2 players. SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 25+ points and 4+ assists. Jalen Williams, J-Dub, 15 points and 4 rebounds. This is +112 on FanDuel. I think it's pretty solid here. I think this is a winner. I honestly was going to put a unit on SGA's over in points. I just could see him ending with 28, and that would aggravate me. He needs 30 to hit his over in points, but that would be my favorite pivot. +112 on FanDuel, a 1-unit play. Now, SGA, he's been a little bit inconsistent this year. He has had some games where he's just a struggle. J-Dub's same kind of thing. He has a game here and there where he struggles, but I like this matchup for them in San Antonio, where they likely need their 2 star players to show up. Jalen Williams will begin with him. He has 15 points in 8 of his last 10. Both misses, 14 points. Yeah. Don't be surprised if that happens today. That's been my luck this season. But 4 rebounds in 4 straight. And he's averaging 12 rebound chances in the last 4 games. He's playing center. I mean, they are so banged up. He's playing center for them. And that's why they kind of get out rebounded. But look, he's down there just trying to grab some rebounds. I like the spot here. And I think with no Isaiah Joe, you're going to see the ball in SGA's and J-Dub's hands a lot more. I think they score their points. Now, as for SGA, 25 points. He's done that in 10 of 14 this season, including 6 of his last 7. His volume the last few games, elite. He's shooting 20, 25 times. He just maybe he's not making those shots or not getting to the free throw line as much as we're used to, but I think he scores in this matchup. He has 4+ assists in 13 of his last 14 games. So again, I like this one. We're going to see these 2 guys have the ball in their hands a lot. SGA, he's been great at getting the ball to his teammates. And we think about his teammates out there, they're all really just catch and shoot guys. So there's not a lot of guys out there that are going to go isolation besides J-Dub and SGA. This is a Spurs team that is likely down Wembanyama. And so you should see them give up a lot of mid-range points, which is where you see SGA and J-Dub get to. I think they get their assists and their rebounds respectively. I like this one at plus 112. As I said, the SGPs haven't done great this season. Just means maybe we're due some winners here. I think this is a good winner, and I think there's good value at plus 112 for 4 legs that I really think are going to be easy. I like this one. I like it at plus 112 for 1 unit. My final play of the day. As I said, there's a good chance we add a ladder challenge. I just probably won't add it until later on in the afternoon when we get some alternate lines in this Cavaliers and Celtics game. But talk about a highly anticipated game. A 15-0 team going up against the reigning champions. Let's please hope this is a good game. That's all I'm asking for, and I think it will be a good game. Here's my 5-leg SGP. Now, before we even talk with the legs, I'm only playing this for a half unit as opposed to 1 unit for the Thunder one. Not because I don't like the Thunder one more, but because the odds obviously reflect plus 275. It's going to be harder to hit this one than probably the other one. I still like both of them a lot. Donovan Mitchell, 25 points. Jaylen Brown, 20 points. Jason Tatum, 20 points and 6+ rebounds. And Darius Garland, 15+ points. Those 5 legs, plus 275 on FanDuel. I like it. I think you can get a risk-free no sweat token on FanDuel if you get to plus 400. I didn't really want to force extra legs in here. It'd probably be some rebound props for maybe Jared Allen or Evan Mobley, but I don't want to count on either of those 2 guys. I want to count on the guys that have the ball in their hands, and that's these 4 fellas, 2 on each team. Now we'll begin with talking about Donovan Mitchell, who I honestly was going to take his over in points, but it's 27.5, and I think he gets that, honestly. But Mitchell, 25 points in 8 straight versus Boston. Garland, 15 points in 10 straight versus Boston. Boston, 23rd defensively versus pick-and-roll ball handlers. I know there's always this, oh, they have Drew Holiday and Derek White. I don't care who their defenders are. That's the way the Celtics play defense. They stay home on shooters, and they force you to go one-on-one against their best defender, or you get a pick, and they're still staying home on the roller. That is what they do. We've seen Donovan Mitchell destroy this matchup before. He got a rest day for this game. He's going to be locked in. Darius Garland, he's going to be locked in too. He's going to have to score. He's always torched this matchup. Those 2 guys are going to have to score for the Cavaliers to keep them in this game. I don't see Jared Allen having a big day. I don't see maybe Evan Mobley. Sure, he probably gets some usage. Karis LeVert could be out. These 2 guys are going to play a lot of minutes, and they're going to have to score. I like both of them, 25 points and 15 points respectively. I think they get the job done. Now we move to the Celtics side of the equation. They don't really have a lot of guys on the injury report. Kristaps, I saw he's coming back soon, but, well, maybe not soon, but he's ramping things back up. Jaylen Brown, though, 20 points in 8 of his last 9 versus Cleveland. Tatum, 20 points in 12 of his last 13, 6+ rebounds in 8 straight versus Cleveland. You can kind of see why I really like this SGP. I think these are the 2 guys that get a lot of volume, and I don't see the Cavaliers giving up a ton of spot-up shots. So guys like Drew Holiday or Derek White, maybe they don't have the biggest schemes. The ball's going to end up probably in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum's hands, and they're going to have to drive and score. So I like this spot. I like all 5 of these legs at plus 275. I'll be honest, I almost put a 1 unit on it, but like kind of a force. Half unit to win like almost 1.4, 1.5. I'll take a chance there. I like all 5 of these legs. Again, an individual line is probably Donovan Mitchell. He's probably the one I'm most confident in. That's why I have him up to 25. When I do a ladder challenge, I might drop him down to like 22. I'm really confident he gets the points today. His volume will be really good. It always is against the Celtics. He'll wake up and show up for this game. So again, I'll probably have a ladder challenge in that game. So maybe that's why I didn't want to force another unit onto this SGP, because the ladder we obviously play for 1 unit as well. But those 5 legs plus 275 on FanDuel. Those are my favorite picks. Let's hopefully get some momentum in this Tuesday NBA in-season tournament games and finally get to a groove. Last year, we had that 17-0 run at the beginning of the year. Haven't been able to find that same momentum so far this season. feel like, man, we've been really unlucky. Eventually that's going to turn our way and we're going to start cooking. Really feel like we've had some good reads. It's been bad luck. But hey, this is what it is. Let's move on. This brings a good vibes, a good energy. Let's have a great day and bring out those bros. I'll see you guys in the next one. And when the ladder challenge is live, it'll be linked on the screen, but don't expect it until like 3 or 4 p.m. today. Stay tuned. It's Austin signing out. Peace.